A few months ago, I sat down at my kitchen table with 90 days of my own bank statements, three highlighters, and a cup of coffee. I thought that it would take me 20 minutes. I thought that I already knew what was in there. I did not know, and neither do you. Because here's what I learned at that table, and it is the whole video in two sentences. Your memory lies about money, your bank statement does not. I would have sworn to you, hand raised, that I knew where my money went. I am the woman with the budget, the one who makes the videos, and those 90 days still had things to tell me that my memory had been quietly editing out for months. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to sit down with your own 90 days, what to look for, and what mine told me. Bring the highlighters and leave the shame out the door. It is not invited to this table. Because most budgets, they do not fail from a lack of discipline. They fail because they are built on memory. And memory is a flatterer. It remembers the week that you were careful and forgets the month that you were tired. The statement remembers everything. And that is why it is the only honest place to start. And I know exactly who's watching this. The woman who has tried the apps, downloaded all the spreadsheet, started the tracker in January with the best intentions, and abandoned it in February. And then told herself the old lie, I am just not disciplined enough for this. Listen to me. The problem was never you. The problem is that almost all money advice asks you to track forward. Write down every coffee, log every dollar, starting today forever. That is a chore staple to your whole life. Of course, it does not stick. Nobody sticks to forever. Reading backward is different. It is one sitting, one afternoon. The data already exists. Your bank collected it all for you, every single line, with no effort from you at all. You do not have to build a record. You just have to be brave enough to read it. And there is a deeper reason backward beats forward, especially if budgeting is new to you. Tackling forward, it asks you to change your behavior and watch yourself at the same time. That is two jobs. Reading backward asks you nothing of your behavior. 90 days of you not performing for anybody. You were just living, which means those statements hold the one thing no tracker will ever catch: the truth about how you actually live when nobody is watching. And the truth is the only honest foundation that a budget can be built on. So one quick breath before we start. I am not a financial advisor. This is my method and my table. Your money decisions, they deserve a professional. But reading your own statements, that belongs to you and nobody can do it better than you. Now, here's the whole method. 4 steps that you can do this today. Step 1, get the last 3 full months of statement. Print them if you can. I mean it. It has to be on paper and you have to have a pen in hand. The money becomes real in a way that a screen never makes it. Every account you actually spend from, checking, savings, the credit cards, all of it. And then step 2, get highlighters and give every single line a color. I sort mine into 5 categories: fixed bills, groceries, eating out, blow money, the fun, the treats, the things that were just for joy. And then savings, 5 colors. Every line gets 1. No line gets skipped, no matter how small and no matter how much that it makes you cringe. And if you already use my free budget template, do not let the colors confuse you. It is the same system. Your must pays and the fixed bills and groceries. Your joy line is the eating out and the blow money. The future you is the savings. We are just using more colors today because for this exercise, the detail is the point. And then step 3, add up each color for each month. Yes, with a calculator, like it is 1995. There is something about doing this math with your own hands that no app summary will ever give you. You are not checking a report that someone else built. You are meeting your own life, line by line. And once you have the 5 totals, read them like a doctor reads a chart because each color tells you something different. Your fixed bills total is your pressure gauge. Let me show you with a simple month so you can watch the diagnosis happen. Say $2,800 came in And the fixed bill came out at $2,100. That is 75% of everything gone before you made a single choice. And right there, that woman finally knows why every month feels tight. It was never the coffee. You cannot skip enough lattes to fix a pressure problem. Then the rest of the chart, your groceries and eating out totals side by side. They tell you where the food money actually goes. And the answer is almost never what memory claims. Your blow money totals, it tells you whether you are living with any joy at all or running so dry that a blow up is already on its way. And your savings total, it tells you whether future you is on the payroll or working for free. Now, step 4. Circle every line that surprises you, every charge that you forgot, every total that does not match the story that your memory was telling. Those circles are the treasure. That is the whole reason that we came to the table. And circle in both directions. Circle what is too big, but also what is missing. The savings that never happened. The category that got nothing for 90 straight days. Sometimes the loudest thing a statement says is the line that are not there. So 4 steps, one afternoon. And now let me show you what happened when I did it, because my circles had a lot of things to say. The first thing my statements told me was about the quiet little army of subscriptions marching through my account. Services I had signed up for and stopped using. Renewals timed that ambushed me in the same month. When we finally sat down in my house and audited every recurring charge, the pile of unnecessary was embarrassing. And not one of those charges asked my permission each month. They just kept walking out with my money, while my memory swore everything was fine. The second thing it told me was all those other categories that did not match the story that my memory was telling me. The one thing that these statements proved to me that I was doing very well was the blow money and the savings. And notice something about all 3. Not one of them was a character flaw. They were information sitting there the whole time, patient, waiting for me to be ready to look. The statement was never judging me. Only my memory was doing that. Now, the most important part. What you do in the first 60 seconds after you find something. Because this is where most women put the highlighter down and then never come back. You will find things at that table that make your face hot. And your old training will wash in with the verdict. See, this is why you are bad with money. And you are going to answer that voice out loud if you have to. This is not a report card. This is a map. A report card grades the past. A map only cares about where you go next. Now, I want to give you a rule for those first 60 seconds after an ugly fine, because that minute decides everything. And the rule is, say what it is, not what it means. What it is sounds like that is $400 of eating out in June. Fact. On the paper, what it means sounds like I am out of control. I will never get ahead. This is who I am story. Not on the paper. You are allowed to read the fact. You are not required to buy the story. Facts, they get fixed. Stories get carried for another 20 years. So choose the fact. So here's the protocol. For every circle, one calm question. Does this stay? Does it shrink? Or does it go? That's it. The forgotten subscription goes. Tonight, 5 minutes. The yearly bill that ambushed you gets a sinking fund. I have a whole video on that system, link below. And the money you free does not just disappear back into the swirl. You handed a job, your savings, your cushion, your someday. And do this one honest thing for yourself. Notice how much of what you find was never about weakness. It was about visibility. You cannot manage what you refuse to look at. And you cannot shame yourself into looking. You can only make the table safe enough to sit down at. That is what today was for. And if it has been years, if there is a pile of unopened envelope or an app you have not logged into since last winter, hear me clearly. You are not behind the class. Half the class is pretending. Most people at every income level have never once read 90 days of their own money. So the day you sit down at the table, you are not catching up. You are pulling ahead of almost everybody, including the people who look like they have it all together. So, if you are done letting your memory run the books and you are ready to hear what your own 90 days have to say, subscribe and say with me. This channel is one long sit down at this table every single day where the shame, it stays at the door and the numbers finally gets to tell the truth. Your statements have been waiting to talk to you. You belong here. Okay, now here it is, small enough to screenshot. Number one, pull 90 days of statements, print them because paper makes it real. Number two, 5 highlighter different colors. Fixed bills, a color, groceries, a color, eating out, a color, blow money, a color, savings. Every line gets a color on your statements. Number 3, add up each color by month with your own hands using a calculator. Number 4, circle all the surprises. Then ask each one the calm questions. Does it stay? Does it shrink? Or does it go? And the rule over all of it, it is a map. It is not a report card. There's no shame at this table. So let me take you back to the kitchen table. The statements, the highlighters, the coffee going cold because 20 minutes turned into a whole afternoon. I sat down at that table thinking I was going to check some numbers, but that is not what happened. What happened is that I finally stopped negotiating with my own memory and let my real life speak to itself. And here's the strange gift on the other side of that afternoon. Peace. Not because everything in those pages was pretty, it was not, but because I was no longer afraid of what I did not know. The monster in the unopened statement is always bigger than the numbers on the page, always. Because fear needs the dark to do its work. Every month you do not look, the monster grows a little, feeding on maybe it is worse than I think. Maybe I have ruined everything. And then you turn the light on and it is just lines on a page. Some good, some that need work, all of it workable. Nothing on that paper was ever as heavy as not knowing. Your 90 days are sitting in your bank account right now. Patient, honest, ready to tell you the truth that your memory has been protecting you from. Sit down at the table. Bring the highlighters. Leave the shame outside. That is not an audit. That is a woman finally meeting her own life on paper. And at 50 years old, that meeting is its own kind of second birth. All right. If we have not met, I am Webley. I am 51 years old, starting over out loud and reading my own receipts on this channel every single day. Now, be honest with me in the comments. And remember, no shame at this table. How long has it been since you actually read a bank statement, line by line? A month? A year? Never? Tell me. And tell me the day this week you are going to sit down with your 90-day statement, and I will meet you back here tomorrow.